Because I had a very good job, and I'd been in it a long time, and so family and friends thought that I'd lost my mind, that it was to go from what I was doing to a profession where at any given time 95% of the union members are out of work. And but it's strangely enough, it's easier.
Well, in the early 80s, when the comedy club scene exploded, it was an oddity to see a magician headlining. The magic act was traditionally an entre piece, the centerpiece, or maybe the opening act. But
Written on the Wind was a very pleasant switch off for me, because the only in that career of westerns was a picture called Battle Cry, and that was a very dramatic role. So I went with Universal. I had been with Warner's, and they were doing Written on the Wind.
I was rather angry that the man, Dick Donner, who directed the first one and was responsible for making the producers extremely rich and for making Christopher and I stars and giving us careers, was fired and not paid, and I made my anger known.
My feeling is each one of us, every individual in the world has got one thing to sell that can't be duplicated, and that's his own individuality.
You know, one of the greatest things about Spider-Man's outfit, his costume, what? He is completely covered. So any kid could imagine he's Spider-Man because no color of the skin shows. He could be black under that. He could be red. He could.
When someone cheats and they have a child with someone else, that's my boundary. You know, that's, for me, that's where I draw the line. And so with that happening, it made it a little easier to leave.
My career was not going great because right after F Troop, my agent sent me out on a couple of things, and I thought, oh, we're not thinking along the same lines. I want to step up,
F. Murray Abraham, for the role of Salieri, it was a little bit by accident. I never saw him in any, that was his luck, because probably I would not even call him for audition, because the film which I saw later was.
As people reveal character under adversity, you realize that the same human story can be told over and over and over again from only slightly different points of view and in a variety of settings, and it has the ability to captivate us and thrill us and make us believe that we are
For once, I'd like to be able to follow the bring-on music. We got a guy back home does a local kiddies show, and he really ought to be doing it. He likes to dip in the sauce a little too much, and I'd like to give you a sample of one of these shows.
Grand Ole Opry, or on the Grand Ole Opry, was I was hanging out at this club. I was 20 years old. It was in Printers Alley in Nashville, Tennessee, and I had got to know the drummer, Jack Grubel, and he was playing with Boots Randolph, and so I used to go in there when they'd open up.
film gives you an added advantage that it enlarges and magnifies what you're doing. And so that, at least for me, you know, the ability to be able to convince myself.
You know, we think of child hunger as kind of a foreign issue, but it's actually very widespread right here in the United States. 17 million kids are affected by child hunger, and that's nearly 1 in 4. You know, it's in every single state, every city, every school across the country.
When somebody hires me to do technical advice, I like technical advice because I like putting the realism in there. It's good for me.
Why?
Good therapy, I think, maybe. But I have a little black book, and I go on to a film to do technical advice. I've got
You know, as you made reference, I've been around a long time. I've never been in anything that has generated this much response from people on the streets. You know, it's really remarkable, amazing.
You know, you only live once, I think. And I just wanted to have a little more time to travel and to do interesting plays, which I did. I did Driving Miss Daisy, which I adored. I did it, I could do it.
Before I did The Tonight Show and The Griffith Show and The Douglas Show, etc., that most leading men, when they went on talk shows, their voice got about 3 octaves lower. And they said, my last picture was wonderful and I was wonderful. And I was kind of the first...
My daughter's godfather played Solozzo in that movie, Al Lettieri. And Al Lettieri and Al Ruddy knew that I was an actress. And of course, with Sicilian background, they wanted me around.
I just auditioned for Peter, and I had just finished doing Three Sisters in New York, a fabulous production, and I needed a job, and so the audition went so well, I thought for sure, well, I'm not going to get the kiss of death when you have a really good audition.
You know, it was the beginning of the 80s. I had a great trouble to do movies in Italy because even if it was a moment of great economic boom, in Italy there was such a smell of corruption and everything which goes with corruption.
I got that part in the movie Castaway because a generous FedEx truck driver turned around. I literally had my audition tape in my hand at 11:05. I'm pulling up to the downtown.
comes a time in the affairs of film that which is called the casting. Casting is very, very, very strange, and everybody likes putting their hand in. I see this person, I see that, but the part.
I'm no longer in the public eye. I was really surprised when you all said we want to do something on you. I thought, wow, why me? I'm appreciative, I thank you very much, but you know, I'm as popular out on the West Coast as yesterday's chopped liver. Come on.
So let's see, there are a number of things to do from this particular position. So you've selected a card somewhere in the deck. And this is a more surreal approach, I suppose, to the concept of sleight of hand, because I'm going to ask you questions, and I'm going to try to learn things that I couldn't possibly know as a clue to finding your card.